Well, good afternoon and welcome to First Presbyterian Church. I'm Chris Urban, the Associate Director of Music here, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our summer concert series. It's funny that you're all sitting over here. There must be something to see right there, and there is. There's a wonderful, wonderful performer, Myroslav, who is with us today. You can read more about Myroslav in your program, his bio. It's our pleasure to really welcome here as a second time, so he was here last summer in our concert series. On the back page of your concert series, or your program, I just want to draw your attention to, we have two more concerts in the series. July 12th is going to be a jazz concert with Jazz and Americana with Bruce Blank and friends. That's 2 weeks from today at 4 p.m. And then to round out our series, on July 26th, we have accomplished composer, organist, pianist Marian Kim, who will be with us on the 26th. She and I are also going to do some piano organ duets on that concert, so I encourage you to come back for that. Two other things before we welcome Myroslav. When you came in the sanctuary, there is a table where you were maybe picked up programs, but there's also a box there. And that box there is a place where if you have a couple dollar bills on your way out, if you could be so generous to support the series, it gives us the ability to bring artists like this to the congregation and to the larger community. So I just ask for your support that way. And then as you go out the sanctuary and you turn left and go out towards the parlor, I encourage you to join us afterwards for a reception. We have light Presbyterian punch and cookies, and it's an opportunity to also meet and talk to Myroslav and thank him for his performance today. With that, please give a warm welcome to Myroslav. So we may just, I'll come down.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, if anything, I can just speak without the microphone, so I have a loud voice, as you can hear. But for now, I can use the mic, and I just want to say, I think it died already, so. Well, that's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. As Chris mentioned, my name is Myroslav Mykhailenko, and I see some familiar faces, by the way, so I think that some of you have already visited this church, and you have come to my concert last year, which was a truly wonderful event, and I just still have so many great memories. And but I think that today is going to be as exciting as last year. Okay, thank you. While we're working on the microphone, I just want to say a couple of words and make a couple of remarks. Though Chris made a beautiful introduction in the beginning. So as he mentioned, my name is Myroslav Mykhailenko, and for those of you who don't know me, I was born in Kyiv, Ukraine, and my family and I moved to the United States almost 8 years ago. Thank you so much. Okay, 1, 2, it's working, great. Okay, can everyone hear me? Yeah, okay. I was saying that my family and I moved to the United States almost 8 years ago due to strenuous conditions, of course, in Ukraine at the time, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. I also will be very happy to talk to you after the concert at the reception if you have any questions or if you want just to find out more about me. Regarding the program, I would say that I'm very excited about it because I'm going to play for you some of my really favorite composers. Though I should be honest, I would say that most composers are my favorites. So it's really hard to choose. But the reason why the program is special is because I will play for you the 3 German Bs, as we call them, the great Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, the great German composers. And this is actually the first time when I program these composers in such a way. Before, I maybe could program only some of them, maybe 2 of them, but it's always, it's always special to play all of these composers in succession because you can hear almost like the progression of music from Bach to Brahms. And then in the end, I will also play for you a very special piece by a Ukrainian composer, Igor Shamo. It's called a Ukrainian Suite. And it has just so much folkloric and beautiful elements that we're going to get into a little bit later, but it will be a lot of fun, trust me. In the end, I want to say a couple of words of thanks. First of all, I want to thank you so much for coming. It's such a pleasure to be here once again at the First Presbyterian Church. Also, I want to sincerely thank all the sponsors and donors for making this concert series possible. Truly, without your support, it would not be possible. So please donate, and we will be just so grateful for that. And finally, I want to thank Chris and all the staff for just making this concert possible once again, for creating the programs and helping with all the administration. It really means a lot. For young performers like me to be on these stages and to share classical music with the different communities. Okay, with that, without further ado, I'm going to just say one word about the next piece, and then we're going to get started. So first, I will perform for you Bach's Partita number 1 in B flat major. Now, Bach, this partita is one of the 6 partitas that Bach composed. And for our context today, I'm going to use the words partitas and suites interchangeably, because essentially they are the same thing. They are synonyms. Bach also composed 6 French suites and 6 English suites, yet this set is considered to be the most technically demanding. Now, you may ask me, what is a suite itself? And in its simplest definition, in our context, it essentially is a collection of dances. And this form was very popular in the Baroque era. Many composers were writing suites at that time. The partita that I will perform for you is overall a very happy and graceful piece. It opens with a beautiful prelude, followed by all the other dances that are quite different. For example, you will hear a moderately paced allemande, which is a German dance, a fast courante. Courante literally means running in French. A slow and beautiful sarabande, and a couple of other dances. In the end, you will hear the gigue, in which you will see my hands kind of cross each other quite a lot, so it will be a lot of fun. Finally, the final point I would like to say is I would like you to refrain from clapping between the movements, if possible. I know that some of you know this, but sort of in the classical world, this is our convention, and you will see that today we'll have a couple of pieces that have multiple movements. So if you could wait till the end, and then you can clap as much as you'd like, then that would be great. Thank you so much, and hope you will enjoy the Partita by Bach. Thanks. Okay, so this was Bach, and I forgot to mention that Bach, of course, we consider Bach to be kind of like the father of classical music because he established so many kind of norms and conventions on how to compose music, and many composers later after Bach truly revered him. So now moving on to the next composer, and he respected Bach quite a lot, trust me, it's Beethoven. And I will play for you his Piano Sonata number 5 in C minor. So this sonata is composed in the key of C minor, and this key is truly significant for Beethoven because he wrote some of his most famous and most dramatic works in this key. Pieces like the Pathétique Sonata and his Fifth Symphony immediately come to mind. I'm sure you know, but the Fifth Symphony starts like this, ta-ta-ta-tam, right? Very dramatic. It's no wonder then that the first movement of this sonata is going to be very tumultuous. This greatly contrasts from the second movement, which is so peaceful and calm. The peaceful atmosphere, however, does not last, because in the third movement, in the end, we return once again to this very dramatic and tumultuous character. Hope you will enjoy. Thank you. Okay, next in our program, we have the Piano Sonata by Johannes Brahms. Brahms' Piano Sonata number 1 was composed in 1853, when Brahms was, guess what, only 20 years old. The reason I'm mentioning this is because if you listen to the whole sonata and just looking at how massive and how magnificent this work is, it really is very fascinating that Brahms composed it at such a young age. Now, I'm not going to play for you the whole sonata because it will take around 30 minutes. It's a massive work. I will play only for you the first movement. Also, I forgot to mention, even though it's his first published work, Brahms had actually composed his second piano sonata before this one, but decided to publish this sonata first because he deemed it of higher quality. So even at that time, we can see that Brahms was very critical of himself. As I mentioned I will perform only the first movement of the sonata, and from the first triumphant notes, one can definitely hear that this is Johannes Brahms. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. So that concludes our set of the great German composers, the three Bs, as we call them. And now I would like to move on to something that is very dear to me because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I was born in Kiev, Ukraine, and now I would like to play this wonderful Ukrainian suite by Igor Shamo. I should say that obviously the inspiration to play Ukrainian pieces and promote the Ukrainian culture comes from the fact that Ukraine is currently still in war with Russia, unfortunately, and it's been such a long time. I feel like that every time it's just so heartbreaking to say this. But when the war started, my brother Myroslav Mykhailenko and I decided to find out more about the Ukrainian culture and promote it as much as possible in our efforts. So that is why it is really dear to me to play this piece, the Ukrainian suite by Shamo. I want to say just a couple of words about this piece so that you understand the context a little bit better. And primarily, I will talk about the first two movements of this piece. So the first movement is titled Duma, and a Duma is an epic poem which is sung and which originated in Ukraine in the 16th century. Historically, Dumy, plural for Duma, were performed by itinerant Cossack bards called kobzari, who accompanied themselves on a bandura or a torban, Ukrainian folk instruments. Dumy were songs built around historical events, often referring to the struggle that the Cossacks experienced. So the piece has a very contemplative and pensive character. Vesnyanka, the second piece, it translates as a spring song, basically, and it is a much more lively and joyous piece. Vesnyanky, which is plural for, I don't want to lose my notes, plural for spring songs, were sung at the end of the winter and were meant to essentially invite spring to come. In the end, you will hear the third and fourth movements, which are melody and dance, and I think they will be quite self-explanatory. The dance will be especially fun in the very end. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and I hope you will enjoy this beautiful Ukrainian rhapsody. Thank you.